Welcome to the first of potentially a new series called Catch Up with RetroBreak. Let's catch up with RetroBreak. I haven't quite decided yet. But basically, these videos are a chance for me to just clear my mind with everything that's going on, try and get myself back on track in terms of YouTube and content, tell you all where I'm up to, what's been going on, and everything else in between. So let's start with some of the issues that I've been having. So you might have noticed, if you are a regular on the channel, that my schedule has been a little bit all over the place for the past few months. I've been having a lot of technical issues. So the Game Boy Color games video, the top 20 that I uploaded a few weeks ago, was so frustrating to make for a variety of different reasons. I usually record footage using the Analog Pocket dock, but for whatever reason the dock's broken, the controller won't connect to it, and therefore I couldn't record the output onto the capture card. So I tried instead to use the GameCube back there and record it onto the PC, but then a Windows update broke my PC, so instead I decided to try emulators, which is obviously what a lot of people on YouTube end up doing. So I downloaded RetroArch and I got it all set up and running with the emulator recording feature so that I could actually record the game properly. Turns out that format is not very friendly with Mac, which is what I use to edit on. So basically I spent like an entire week recording all the footage for all the games, and it was basically unusable. I tried to edit the game. I tried to edit all the footage in Final Cut and I imported all of the files, and I was just getting constant freezes and the screen was like flashing black and all various different colors. So I did what they call making proxy files, which is basically taking the original file and then sort of downsampling it a bit so it's easier for the editor to work with, and that worked fine. So I was happy editing away with that video. It took about another week to get everything lined up, get all the titles in place, get all the nice smooth transitions and everything. I've downloaded a few transition packs to use with Final Cut as well, and I think they look really cool, although my M1 Mac is struggling to run them all at 4K, especially with all the gameplay clips on top, because I kind of want to build a template that I can use in the future for more of these top games and hidden gems videos, where you can keep me in the corner and then you've got the gameplay and you've got the box and the name of the game and the developer and stuff. So I created all that. It was going great. I was editing it, although albeit a bit slowly on my aging M1 Mac, which I am looking to upgrade at some point. So anyway, got it all done, turned off proxy, put it back onto the regular timeline to export it, to upload to YouTube, and it just would not go. There was literally an issue with every single clip in that timeline, and I spent another 2 or 3 days going through it all one by one, transcoding each file, trying to resave it, recut out the same bits, put it back into Final Cut, re-export it. It just was not working. I was getting so frustrated. I thought, do I really have to like find a completely different way to do this video? So in the end, what I did was played it back in the editor using the preview window and actually recorded the preview window full screen using QuickTime on the Mac, and even that was going weird because I was still having that black sort of inserted frames issue. So all that was going on. In the end, I had like 5 different screen recordings of the video, and I managed to somehow splice them all together in a way that no one will notice, and that is the video that you can see right now. But I do not want to get into that situation again, so I've been trying to come up with a better way of recording games, and like I said, I'm going to be upgrading my Mac, get a faster processor, get some more storage space, and hopefully that'll make that issue go away. I've also had another issue with the streaming PC, which is a Windows PC, and the update completely broke that. Every time I would boot the system up, it would just reset. And before that even, I was trying to stream, so I got OBS up and running, pressed go live, and for whatever reason on Twitch and YouTube, because I was doing the cross-streaming thing, which seemed to be working well for several months with no issues, everything just sort of didn't work. I had just a completely black screen on Twitch, and on YouTube it just had the thumbnail for the going live soon thing, and there was no video, even though OBS, Twitch and YouTube all told me that I was live. So I still haven't been able to figure that out like 2 months later. So streaming's on hold for now, I guess. And because of all that frustration, I didn't make any podcasts either, but I made one last week, basically regurgitating the same thing that I am now. So podcasts are back on track. So I'm going to take it slowly, so don't expect a new video in the next few weeks. I want to get this new Mac first of all, which they should be announcing very soon. Get that all set up, get this template in place that I've been trying to get, figure out a better way of capturing gameplay footage, and then I'll be much happier going into next year and getting everything back on track. So there's also a load of stuff going on with work and stuff, which is also filling up the rest of my time and headspace. So there's a lot going on, but I do think that by the end of this year and going into next year, everything will be back on track. And I've got a great plan for the next few years on YouTube. In fact, this isn't plugged in, so I can take it with me. Come over here and I can actually show you on the wall what my plans actually are. So if we go over here, this is on the camera mic now, but I actually have this whiteboard here with all of these things on and some priority videos there. Streams I've actually crossed off completely because I kind of gave up on them. There's some long-term projects that I want to try and work on. There's some of my upgrades, M4 Max, MacBook Pro, a new hard drive, and some upgrades to some of the streaming stuff, like the RetroTink and the Hydra. And basically, what I'm doing, and I have mentioned this in the past, I'm actually going to go through every single console, so you can see Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, DS, whatever, all the way down to Neo Geo at the end, which I haven't really started yet. And I'm going to go through and do a top games, a hidden gems, a history video, subscribers milestone video whenever I hit a 10,000 subscribers plus, all the way up till there, and then I'm going to do a very special one for when I hit 100,000. Max refers to maxed out games, so games that max out the system's capabilities. We also have a bit here for cancelled games, import games, and the legacy of the system, which includes things like homebrew games and everything like that, and aftermarket consoles and things. So that is my long-term plan, and as you can see, some of these actually have months written on them, so I'm going to try and do 2 a month. So we're going to start off in January here with Switch top games and go down the list like this, and then we're also going to do gems for each of the systems too. And potentially in December I want to do a history video for the Game Boy, because I loved doing my history videos in the past. So that basically is what to expect next year from the channel, and I'm very excited to actually give it a go. So hopefully that was a little bit of an interesting behind the scenes for you, and I do actually have a lot of other stuff that I want to talk about in this video as well. So let's go back over to the desk. I'll clip you back on there, and we can cover some of the cool stuff that I've been up to recently, because it's not all about videos. I just came back from MCM/EGX, which was like 2 shows in one, and I was very, very pleased to be able to meet some of the original creators of Donkey Kong. There was Greg and Steve Males, the designer and the character designers for the game, so the level designer, and there was also Kev Bayliss, who's the artist who obviously created the modern interpretation of Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong and a bunch of other characters, and David Wise, my all-time favourite game composer. So I was so happy to meet them all, and I did get a bunch of stuff signed by them as well. So I have this musical sheet here from Aquatic Ambience, which obviously David Wise wrote for Donkey Kong 1, Donkey Kong Country 1, and it's got all their signatures there and at the top too, so I was very happy to get that. I also got this from Salamandos, which is kind of a project that Kev and Dave are working on, which is kind of like Battletoads but a modern version of it, so that's really cool. But most excitingly of all, I also took my copy of Diddy Kong Racing to get signed by the 2 of them. So we have David Wise's signature right there, and we have Kev Bayliss there, and he was kind enough to draw Diddy Kong right there on the back for me as well. And he wrote Cocoa Pops Rocks, and the reason that he wrote that is that I went to a panel earlier in the day where they were talking about the development of Donkey Kong Country and how he came up with Diddy Kong, and he basically just said it's a rip-off of the Cocoa Pops monkey, which I just thought was really funny and really on brand for Kev Bayliss as well. So just fantastic. It was so nice to meet them all. They were so kind. They shook my hand. They talked for a while. I got to have a group photo with them all as well, which was fantastic. So that was just a fantastic memory and a fantastic moment from the show, and something that I'm very, very happy to have in my collection. Other things that I got up to at MCM, well, kind of at MCM, it was kind of tangentially related to MCM because it was on at the same time, but something I've wanted to do for a long time. So I'm a massive fan of Miku and Vocaloids, and I've always wanted to go to one of the live concerts, and because of the time it was on and the fact that I was actually working at the show, I didn't think I'd be able to go, but I actually bought a resale ticket for a stand-in part of the venue the day before the show, and I managed to go to Miku Expo, which was very, very exciting for me. So I picked up this awesome t-shirt here, and on the back it has a list of all the different places that the show's going to be at. So I absolutely loved it. I thought it was absolutely amazing. Afterwards, I managed to queue up for a bit and pick up one of the glow sticks. There you go, you can see Miku Expo 10th anniversary. And as well as that, the only other thing that was left in the entire merch stall was this acrylic standee for one of the characters. This is Rin, and I really like her songs as well, so I was happy to get this one. Obviously, all the Miku stuff had actually sold out. So anyway, what an incredible experience the concert was. It was even better than I could have ever hoped for. I absolutely loved every minute of it, and I'm so glad that I managed to go, and I'll definitely try and go again in the future if it ever comes back to the UK. At the show as well, I also bumped into a few people who watched the channel, which was great, so thank you everyone who said hi across the weekend. And someone very special came up to the stall that I was running, and they gave me a bunch of their artwork. So this was Isma, the person who created the Game Boy homebrew game Dedius, which is one of my all-time favourites. He actually gave me some of his work here, so we have some of these art books that he gave us, and here's another one called Ghosts. So let's have a quick look in there. I didn't really get the chance to look in there yet, but I really do like his art style. So really, thank you so much for giving me this. Like, you didn't need to, but it was very nice to talk to you. Very great to see you after all these years. So really cool that he gave us this. There's also this thing called Creaking Guts, the black and white art of Isma. There we go. How cool is that? So I really love his art style. I'll put a link in the description if he's got an Etsy or somewhere that you can go and follow him and check out some of his work, because it is really cool. And as well as that, something else really cool, I got to meet the people who are making the Chromatic. So this is a new Game Boy system that's coming out at the end of the year, I believe. So I got to try it out and I was very impressed. They gave me this leaflet here which explains some of the backstory of the system and how they made it, and all of the various different colours there as well. So it was great to talk to them. I had a fantastic time there. The new Tetris game is looking incredible, which is always good to see. So anything new official Tetris related, I will jump on that, and I really can't wait. And obviously I'll do a video here on the channel to show you all my thoughts and opinions on that when I get it in the future. And to go along with Tetris, at one of the gaming stalls there, I also picked up Tetris Plus for the Sega Saturn. I do have this game, but I don't actually have it in this good condition. I actually only have the Japanese version, and then just the PAL PlayStation 1 version. So it's great that I now have the Saturn version of my favourite Tetris game as well. And of course, being at a Comic-Con convention, I also picked up some artwork. So I'll show you some of that right now. Let's start off with, well, this one was for Sarah, but I'll show it anyway. This was from Dungeon Meshi. I'm sure a lot of you watching also enjoy anime, so that's really cool to have. I love Dungeon Meshi. It's a fantastic series, or Delicious in Dungeon, as its UK title is. I also picked up some artwork from one of my favourite artists, who I always try and go to. His name's By Mika. So I got this one, which is obviously from Frieren, which was one of my favourite anime from last year. Absolutely loved the show, and I love his art style so much. The colours are just incredible. So there's that one from Frieren, and there's also this one from Dungeon Meshi as well. There's Marcel. So really, really nice art. Absolutely love it. And then this one was for Sarah. This is from Spy Family. This is Lloyd Forger. So that's really cool to have as well. And they will be going in my art folder, which I've got. And we also picked this one up. Unfortunately, there's no name for the artist on this one, but we thought it looked really nice, so we also picked that one up too. And from a friend of mine who also has a store, I picked up one of her standees. This is from Spark Hero. And this is Shion from Kingdom Hearts 358 Over 2 Days, which is my favourite game in the series, and she's my favourite character as well. So when I saw her post this on Instagram, I knew I had to pick it up. So that was really fun, and it was great talking to everyone there as well. All the artists at these shows are just amazing. And there's another show coming up next month as well, so I'll be picking up even more cool stuff to show you then. I also knew a bunch of people who had just come back from Japan, and they were very kind to actually give me some of these Nintendo keyring things. So we have N64, GameCube and SNES, and I actually had these attached to my lanyard all weekend, so I was walking around just like pressing the buttons and it was so satisfying. So really happy to have them. Maybe I'll be able to pick up the rest of the series, or maybe I'll get them in person whenever I go back to Japan next, which hopefully won't be too long. And something else really cool that was waiting for me when I got home was half of the limited run collection from Rocket Knight Adventures. So we have this amazing Sparkster plushie here, complete with the jetpack on his back, and he's also got whiskers. They're a little bit like off-center, the ones on the left. I think they got stuck in the box, but even so, to have all of this really cool stuff from my favourite game on the Mega Drive is just so exciting. It also came with these pin badges as well, which look really nice. And it also came with a little collector's coin as well. So on one side it has his rocket pack, and then on the other there's Sparkster's face. So that's really cool. Unfortunately, I don't have the game yet because for some reason that's been sent separately. So when I do get that, I'll definitely play it, hopefully on stream if I can get all that fixed. And another game that was waiting for me was Sonic and Shadow Generations, which I'm going to go back and play after I've finished recording this video. So I think we'll leave this video here. This was just like a little random catch-up video. Let me know if you can come up with a catchier name than Catch Up with RetroBreak, and I'll try and use that going forward. I feel like it's kind of nice every so often to do these unscripted kind of videos where I just get to talk to you, and you guys can talk with me in the comments below. And of course, feel free to join my Discord as well, so if you want to chat between making these videos, in case anything goes wrong in the future and I don't make anything for a while, that would be really cool too. So there's a link in the description to join the Discord. That's it for now. Hopefully, at some point in the near future, I'll be coming out with part 2 of my Game Boy Color video, and there's a lot more to look forward to, as you saw on the whiteboard over there earlier. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again very soon. Goodbye.